Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Whiskey Sour Libations and Conversations. It's your girl, Dom. Welcome back, everybody. Before we get into this week's hot topic, just wanted to remind you guys that this week's episode is not sponsored by Jack Daniels, so drinking it straight this week. And candles. Saint, SAINT dash angelus.com/candles. Get your candle fix. Father's Day is coming up. You know his house probably smell like gym socks, maybe. But if not, hey, we just trying to compliment the vibe that your daddy or your baby daddy might have in your house and your house as well. So be sure to take a stop by. I have something for everybody, and we're gonna get the show started. Today's guest I met during the pandemic virtually when everybody was on Clubhouse, and he has his thoughts, his opinions. He's very loud and boisterous with his opinions. So today I was having a discussion on Instagram, and he came into the live, and we started to have a heated conversation about today's topic. I want to bring him in, and then actually, no, I want to play the clip first. I'm going to play the clip, play the full clip, and then I'm going to bring my guest in. So let's start here.
You can't even get women nowadays to bring their man a plate, rub his feet, just basic things. The attitude of so many women that I see now is they don't want to cater to a man in any, it's almost like it's a dirty word. They don't want to compete for a man. They want him to just pick her because she's so special. But it's too much competition. There's too much out here. What are you doing to outbeat the competition? What are you doing to win over a man? And a lot of women, they don't want to do it. They want to have attitudes, not be work on themselves in any kind of way, physically, mentally, spiritually. Just think they just show up. Me being alive, being a woman with a vagina is enough for a man to choose me. Accept me as I am. All the men need to change. All the men need to stop being this way. But us women, we're perfect out the womb. We're perfect. Just because we're born, we're perfect beings. And it's all these men. But but that's good news for me because I'm going to compete. And I'm glad that they've taken themselves out the competition. That's less work for me.
All right. So I am going to bring today's guest in. Everybody, please welcome Dre to the show. Hello, how are you?
Good afternoon, good evening. How are you?
Yeah, I am well, thank you. I have my drink on deck. I was smoked a little bit.
All right.
But yeah, so I posted a brief soundbite on my podcast page because I felt like after a certain point, everything else she was saying was fluff. And the part that I clipped, what she was saying was women don't cater to men anymore. You know, women don't want to compete for men and blah, 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 blah. And I feel like she's kind of loud and wrong. I feel like she's loud and wrong because there are tons of women and men that cater to their partners. You felt like that was not true. You felt like there was some truth in her statement. So I want to give you the floor.
Okay. So I would preface anything I say when I speak is general, not absolute statements. General, not absolute.
So she was making a general statement as well. So you got to kind of be careful in that with that term because it gets dicey.
Which I agree with. So that's why I preface everything is general, meaning that on a large scale, you might see something doesn't necessarily apply to everybody. So,
that's not what generalization means, though. But
okay,
no, making a generalization, as I told you earlier, it means it appeals like it's to the masses. It
right.
doesn't negate anybody. It's no exception. She was putting that statement on women in general, so that's what I'm saying. Like, it's different. So you're saying that there's an exception, or you could just be speaking from your experience too. So that's different. I wouldn't generalize. Like if you're going to speak from your experience, I wouldn't say that's a generalization because that's your experience, though.
Right. My experience is my experience. But I would
Yeah.
say what she was speaking on isn't an absolution. Absolution means everybody. A general statement means that on a mass scale, you see something, but there might be caveats, there might be exceptions. It doesn't apply to everyone. So are there people out there, are there women and are there men that cater to their partners? 1000%. There are. Are there people out there who, who don't really take the time to get to know what their partner's needs are, love languages, different things that they might look for, that just speaks to them in that relationship? There are situations like that. And like you said before, that just means that they really not feeling their partner like that, which I can agree with on that statement as well. I think the main thing that I was mainly speaking in regards to was the fact of women competing for men. Because like I said earlier, that, when men, we're raised and from school, starting in school, women, y'all don't, y'all like, oh, I think he's cute, or I might find him attractive. But typically y'all waiting for the guy to make the move, and there might be 3 dudes that likes y'all, and he's competing with each other to figure out who's going to get the girl. That starts early. So men, we know from the beginning, when it comes to dating, that, like I said, you meet a girl, she might have two or three guys that she's talking to, and you got to figure out what's going to make you stand out from the rest of them. Whereas in the mindset of a lot of women, they're not looking to really stand as like, okay, here I am, and boom. And it's like, okay, if he doesn't see, any value in me, then I'm off to the next guy who can see value in me. But if you got 3 different women, all different, but all have great personalities, great traits about them, there got to be something that separates you from those other women. And I think that's more so what she's speaking in regards to.
I will disagree with that, because I think women are raised to see each other as competitors. Like I think that you can disagree with me on that statement, but women, why do you think that there's an issue with women having like sisterhoods? Women a lot of times do compete with other women, even if the other woman isn't really aware that there's a competition happening. So that's again, I'm a woman, so I just know what
Right.
happens in this world and in this body. But a lot of times I think that's not a true statement to say, because women do compete with other women. I think there are women that won't do it, myself included, because I feel like niggas come a dime a dozen, and I'm not gonna go back and forth with you. It's either you see my worth, you know my value, and we kicking it, or if you want to do other shit, I tell niggas all the time, that's cool, go entertain somebody else, but I'm not gonna stick around for that. But that's me. That's how
Right.
I roll.
Right. Which I understand. And I think, for me, I'll speak for me. When I think of the word compete, when, like, I'm not over here saying like, oh, I got somebody else I'm talking to, and you out here doing the most, trying to get my attention. No.
Yeah.
It could be subtle things. If we spend a time and I see that you might pay attention to something that maybe the other person doesn't pay attention to, those are things that pique me as a man. It's like, okay, like, she's really paying attention to me. That's going to separate you from another chick. Just simple things like that for me. So when I think of competition, I'm not saying like, women, y'all going back and forth arguing, with the guy, are you gonna pick me or not? Like, that's not what I'm referring to, because I've never been that guy to like want women, trying to fight over me. That's not my personality at all. I would rather something happen organically and naturally. But at the same time, as a man, there are more women than men in the world. Just like you said, there's dudes come a dime a dozen. Women, y'all come a quarter a dozen. So it's like, at the end of the day, as a man that might have multiple options, yeah, he's looking for, especially if he's marriage minded and wants to build a family and things like that. He's gonna not only look for the physical traits, but also what's gonna separate her from another woman, for him to want to build with.
Yeah. So I get that and I understand what you're saying. But I also feel like, so in that sense, it's like you you're being intentional, you're intentionally dating. So there's some women that are going to kind of fall by the wayside, but that doesn't mean that women don't compete. I mean, I kind of feel like we have to, because it's like you said. And when I mean compete, like I said, I'm not doing that shit because like I know where to go and what's happening. But what I mean by that is it's like there are a lot of women actually competing that are actively dating, that are doing the right things. It's just whether or not you like it.
Right.
Like there are a lot of women that like understand like it's a race, so and as we are getting older, I feel like a lot of women feel, especially if they want to bear children, that there's a timeline, but
Right.
also society is telling them that there's something wrong with them because they might be 35. Like I'm 35. Apparently there's something wrong with me because I am, like
Mm.
not married. And that's not true. It's just that I'm taking my time, I'm enjoying life and hanging out and dating, and but being intentional as well. Like there are certain things I'm just not going to settle for, and I shouldn't have to settle for.
I agree with that. I agree with that. But okay, right. I agree with that. Women shouldn't have to settle. But at the same time, I also, as a man, I understand the aspect of being realistic as well. So nobody's perfect, which I'm not saying that you're saying that. Nobody's perfect at all. I think that in the aspect of dating, I think people come into um, preconceived notions about, okay, I'm worth this, I should get this, I better get this, and not really do internal work to realize, okay, look, this is where I'm at, and realistically, this is what I'm going to get at the end of the day. And I think for men, we understand that aspect. A lot of times, I'm not saying all of us, uh, but I think society has given women, which like I said, I'm all for women doing their thing. I think society has given women an extension of a timeline to be married and have families and things of that sort. For men, for most men, a lot of men, I won't say most, a lot of men get married with the intention of having a family. So as a woman that's getting older, when he's looking at a woman and he's looking at age and looking at other factors, it's like, okay, I want to have kids. I might, whether it's 1, 2, 3, however many kids, as she gets older, is she gonna have enough energy? Will I have enough energy? Um, is her gaining weight? All those factors like that, those play a factor into when men are looking at women when it comes to dating. It's as far as when it comes to age, like me, I actually typically date women that are older than me, but that's because honestly I don't know if I want kids or not. So that's just where I'm at. But if I were to say, you know what, hey, I want to have kids, then more than likely I would look for a woman that's a little younger, not 25, but maybe in the age of 28, 29, 30-ish. Being that I'm 35, we're about to be 35 later on this year. So that's just me. Not saying that I can't get a woman my age and she can have a kid or whatever like that. But there's a lot of factors that go into it health-wise, other things that come into a factor when it comes to, dating a woman that's older that wants to have a kid, things like that. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. And I wouldn't be opposed to it. I'm just saying, as far as a lot of men, how they think when it comes to wanting to have a family, because typically when you're getting married, they're trying to build a legacy. They want to have kids. They want to build generational wealth, those things of that sort. That's how we should be thinking when it comes to dating and relationships. We want something that's going to build generations, whether it's wealth, families, kids, grandkids, whatever.
So you want more of like, like equity. And I think what happens is and you have to have equity in order to obtain and start generational wealth, which is a whole nother issue, white supremacy. We won't get into today. But I feel like what happens is too, is it's what this woman is saying is that women don't do and what she's saying, honestly, it's the bare minimum. And I still feel like there's this area where men, not all men, look at women as vessels, as tools, as and that's it. What is what she's asking, or and what she's saying. And I mean, it's, for me, I feel like it's very pick me behavior. I felt like it's a lot of pandering to a certain side, because as stated earlier, I have friends that are in very loving, successful marriages. I have seen successful marriages growing up, and nobody talks about this. And I feel like it's very common broke dialogues that people are having.
Mm.
But again, I know how I date. I date a certain way. And these conversations don't come up when we're having conversations over dinner or out drinking with friends. No one's talking about what somebody's bringing to the table.
Right.
Nobody's saying that my partner or my wife or my husband, my partners, whatever the case may be, this isn't a topic of discussion. And I just what's damaging about what she's saying is that, again, it's a generalization that includes a large number of people, and she probably hasn't said it yet, but probably it's more Black women that she's trying to say that to, where we go through this notion where there's a certain group of men that feel like Black women are not submissive. And submissive, as I told you earlier, is such a negative word. You know what I mean? It's bending over. You are, pretty much losing your voice. You are pretty much a slave. When you really, yes, that is what submission is. It
That's
is.
mission in a relationship.
No, because that's what it is. It should be a partnership.
I agree.
It should be 50-50. If I chose you as my partner and you chose me, we should be compromising. We should be
Which is a level.
building something to get together. And I just really feel like a lot of men look at women as if we are not worth anything. It's like you said, like we use, the first thing you said, building a family, and then you automatically you talk about her weight, and then it's like, I will go with a woman that's younger because of XYZ. But then it's like, okay, now to me that sounds like a woman that's just a vessel for you, like a tool.
No, we first off, we were talking about kids and things of that sort. I was just speaking as far as my preferences, as far as when it would come to children. I never said what I look at a woman as, because again, like I said earlier, when I think of the word submission, I look at it as far as both ways. We're putting what we want individually aside to build something together. That requires a level of submission unto each other. I was raised a Christian, so you know, in the Bible, it talks about submitting husband to wife and wife to husband. I'm not saying like I'm out here living, like a saint, but there are certain things that I hold dear, and I hold as values. Growing up in a military household where I saw both my parents, my dad, was in the Army, he'll be gone, and my mom, she had to handle stuff. And then when he came back, the reins were, he was back as the lead of the house. That requires a level of him recognizing, all right, I'm not here to handle this stuff. I need to have a level of trust and be able to submit to her while I'm gone, to make sure that way I know that she's handling stuff. That's a level of submission. It's a partnership, like you said, but you have to submit your own wants and needs to meet the needs of each other to make this train go to where you want it to go to. That's when I say submission, that's what I'm referring to.
I want to read the definition from the Oxford Dictionary to you. Ready to conform to the authority or will of others, meekly obedient and passive. And the synonyms are compliant, yielding, malleable, um, manageable, passive, obedient, docile, timid, meek, mild, resigned, forbearing, subdued, humble, spiritless. Nothing about boot licking. Nothing about this sounds good
Okay, you're
at all.
you're reading
And
a
so what I mean is, it's like I don't feel like your mother was submissive. I feel like she knew her role and she knew how to show up, and there was compromise that was happening. Your father had to allow her to come in. That's not him submitting, that's recognizing her role and her place. And I feel confident and comfortable enough with this woman, one, to procreate with her, but two, when I'm away in the army, at war, whatever I'm doing, I know she's holding down the house. That's nothing to do with submission. That's a partnership. That's
right,
everything to
and
do with
that's
a partnership
right.
and
But you
compromising, because
correct.
you have to think, as a male, you are very egotistical. It's egotistical. There's nothing about men that's docile at all.
We can be. I think
What man do you know that's docile?
there are men out there that are docile and humble and meek, but at the same time, see, in order to be,
But society will call them a pushover.
not necessarily. There's a difference between someone being humble but still strong. In order to actually be a leader, in order to actually be able to lead someone, you have to be able to also listen. You also have to be able to be sometimes learn how to be quiet. You have to learn how to be humble. You can't, as a leader, you can't just be out here talking about what you've done and and this is what I got going on, things of that sort. That's not how that's not going to get anyone to listen to you. You have to
Correct.
you have to learn how to be quiet sometimes.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you're submissive.
No, no,
That's just
no. But
knowing your role and your place.
okay. Okay. So what you're saying may be, but again, submissive, like I said, is
Mhm.
I'm submitting what my own wants and needs are to meet the greater good of what we're trying to get this going to. In a marriage, in a relationship, there is submission that both people have to do, because you're no longer an individual. You're thinking about me and someone else. What are we trying to accomplish? Where's this relationship taking us? That requires a level of submission, because you have to submit your own individual needs to meet the needs of the other person. So again, you read a broad definition from Oxford Dictionary about submission, which again, I'm not disagreeing with any of those statements. Just like other words have different meanings to them and different definitions that they can be defined as, the word submission can be. I think it gets a negative connotation to it a lot of times, because a lot of people don't have an example of seeing a man and a woman in a healthy relationship. So when they see, whether it's movies, TV, reality TV, social media, about, a man talking about, oh, she's gonna submit to me because I make all this money and I'm paying for everything, blah blah blah. That's unhealthy, and I think there's been an overdose of that, especially in reality TV, and not enough healthy relationships being shown to what it actually looks like for a man to submit to a woman and for a woman to submit to a man, and it actually be healthy, and actually showing progress of where this is what we're working towards, and this what we've done together. Both of us submitting to each other has allowed us to accomplish this in our relationship or our marriage or whatever else. It takes two. It takes two.
I'm gonna stop you there, because I still feel like what you're saying is using this role, and you even referenced the Bible at one point, but I feel like a lot of things that have happened even in that time have been outdated. And I think, I'm just going to say this, I believe that role, we need to dial it back a little bit, because submission, like I just read the definition, it wasn't abroad, it's literally there, it's simple, you get it, it's straight to the point, it doesn't Broad means it includes a lot of other things, but what I'm saying is that if we're going to stay here, I believe that there are a lot of men that don't know how to lead. So if you're expecting a woman to show up a certain type of way, then you have to lead her. And I think that there are a lot of men that don't know how to lead because they're so gung-ho on a woman being submissive to them, if we're going to say that. And if you have a partnership, I believe that things will come naturally to you. Like people will take on certain roles just because they naturally fall into it. That doesn't mean I'm submitting. That means I am being your partner and I'm complimenting you. And I think that there's this huge misconception that Black women in general don't know how to do that, which isn't true. Like I know so many Black women that show up for their partners and their partners show up for them. It's no tit for tat. And like I said, we're not having those conversations. But if this is the topic at hand you might not like your partner. Or your partner might not like you, whatever the case. If you feel like you can't just naturally fall and do certain, play certain roles, whatever you want to call it. Let's say whatever you want to call it. That might not be your person. It's really that simple. A lot of people are in healthy ass bullshit ass relationships with people because society is telling them at 35 they're fucked up because they're single, and so they settle for the next best thing that comes to them, and they don't like them. And that's men and women included. I overhear a lot of conversations going to bars and things that people say about their partner. I'm like, why are you with this person? You don't like them. I tell my homeboys and homegirls all the time when they call and complain. I'm like, hey, one, you only get so many times to come in with the same bullshit. Two, you don't like this person, so why are you there? Why are you there? Everything that woman is saying that women don't do, they do, but they do it for people that they love. And half the time, we still try to compromise and bend over backwards and try to be nice to niggas. And they still rub their funky ass feet and suck their sweaty ass dicks. It's true. It's true. So I don't know. Like I hate the word submissive. I feel like women will submit.
I mean,
for the right person, and so do and men show up for people that they want to show up for.
I agree with the statement. I agree with the fact that there are a lot of men out there that don't know how to lead because they didn't have the examples as far as showing them how, or they never sought to understand what it actually meant to lead. And I also think,
can I say that? Can I ask you this question? When you were growing up, what was the conversation as far in your household regarding relationships?
So the conversation that I had with both my parents, mainly my dad first, was, as a man, you're supposed to protect, you're supposed to provide, you're supposed to love, be loving, caring, understanding, emotional, have the emotional connection, all those things. And some of those I learned early on, and some of those things I learned later because, being my dad being the military kind of teaches you how to disconnect emotionally from a lot of stuff. So some of the things I didn't learn until 19, 20. Some things I learned at 15.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Continue. You said it like it was the year. Sorry.
20. Not 2019, 19.
No, I thought you meant like the year. I was like, nigga, you were not born then.
No, but I'm saying as my age, the age of 19 and 20 something.
Okay. I apologize.
No, you're good. And then some things, my mid-20s, because as a man or as a person, you evolve. So as my dad evolved in their marriage, he would share different things that he learned.
Okay.
So I learned from I would say starting age 14 to 25. Even now, when I talk to my parents, I still learn things. But so I was taught early on, and even some things may not have been said, but I saw. I'm the oldest of 4, so I saw as well too.
Think about it from this angle too. You have a not even just a one-up, but like 100, on the average person.
Right. I agree.
Because there was that's not happening, and that was not happening in the average household, and more so in particular, like the Black household.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people come from single parent households. I'm not just going to say single mom households, but single parent households where these conversations are not being had, and we are being built on and having conversations, and pretty much what we're seeing is survival mode, because I have to do what I have to do to provide for my kids. And so that's how a lot of people or men are and women are having these conversations that cater to a certain demographic, which is also, I feel, kind of messed up, because these people, they're not necessarily gonna know better. A lot of us are moving through life based off of experiences anyway, and things that we could have overheard or saw. And so for you to be able to sit here and say that, well, this is what my father told me, a lot of people have never had those conversations, even if they had a 2-parent household.
Right. I agree.
A lot of people are talking, and I say this, and this isn't giving men a pass. I say it all the time. I said men are taught how to bring home money.
Mm-hmm.
They're not necessarily taught to be empathetic. They're not necessarily taught to listen. Whereas women, we are taught at a very young age that we have to we have to get married. We have to have kids. We have to take care of the household. We have to do all of this stuff just to show up for our husband and our kids. And there's never nothing that goes back to us. We have all these responsibilities that are put on us. Whereas men, it's like, okay, bring home money. Okay, cool. I can go fuck off and do whatever else that I want to do. All right, cool.
I don't think that's the mindset of most men. I would say your caliber men, I would say this. For the men that are actually building something and that are trying to build something into and have a woman as a partner as they go to the next level, most of those dudes are grinding. They working hard. They working 60, 70, 80 hours a week. And I think that people are, honestly, I think that both sides, both men and women, have to pick better partners. For one, I think people get attached to sex more than being realistic and understanding, okay, this person is this, and then boom, now y'all got a baby and now you tied together. So that's what happens.
Or men could simply put on a condom.
I mean, right. I'm not giving men a pass at all. I'm just saying what tends to happen, and I think that a lot of times I think in today's age, honestly, people have devalued marriage and just want relationships, but they want a relationship just for gratification of having one instead of understanding what a relationship is supposed to build towards, and then, work towards that. I think people are just like, oh, I got somebody. I got somebody here, and I'm effing with such and such, or just to say that you're messing with a particular person. Both men and women do it, but really have an end goal in mind as far as where that's supposed to go. So I agree with that aspect, but I think a lot of times when it comes to women in dating, I'm not saying that there aren't women that don't put forth effort. I'm not saying that there aren't women that won't go to show a dude, hey, like I actually value you and I want to build something with you and I like you or whatever like that. I'm not saying that there aren't women that do that, but right. I will say that a lot of times women have the mindset of, boom, I'm here and I got a vagina, so it don't matter because I can just get a guy. Women, and as far as when it comes to getting a partner or getting someone, women will always have it easier than men when it comes to that. And I say that because
when you say partner, does that mean that I'm going to say that
if a woman wanted to be in a relationship with a guy and a man wanted to be in a relationship with a woman, it would be easier for a woman to get in a relationship with a guy than it is for a man to get into a relationship with a woman. And the reason I say that is because the reason I say that is because of this. typically when, say you're going out with your girls or whatever like that, you get dressed, you go out.
I
Typically,
don't think that's true.
you don't think
No.
here?
Mm-mm.
Why is that?
Because at the end of the day, I think that women really fall in line with their standards and their values, because there's this whole connotation that if women didn't have standards or didn't want everything that was on their checklist, they could have a man tomorrow. But a lot of women are not willing to compromise their checklist in order to just have a partner. So I think that men settle more than women. And the studies, there are numbers to back that statement up, because a lot of men, science has shown this based on, what do they call them things? Polls, that a lot of men settle when it comes to relationships because they are more money driven and goal driven, and are taught that, hey, you have to be a provider. It's nothing else. They're not taught to balance both. There's some men that can do it, but a lot of men, especially well-off men, they're very tunnel vision when it comes to that, and they can't balance a relationship and whatever their goals are at the same time. Y'all just not good at it, and that's okay. But a lot of men, when it comes to settling down, a lot of men say they settle because the woman that they really ultimately wanted to choose has moved on with her life and has a new partner and has, gotten married and had kids.
I will say that most men, okay, if you want to use the word settle, I would say that most men are realistic when it comes to
They settle. And I've asked homeboys that question, and they said they have confirmed. And I was just like, damn, that's fucked up. Which has me, I'm like looking at the dating situation out here like, damn, am I this nigga first choice or his third choice? You know what I mean? Like, I gotta tread lightly with this nigga, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? But that's just the reality of the situation. And that's because sometimes we all miss it. I don't know many people that are with their first options, their first loves. I don't.
But
I know people with their twin flames.
Right.
But as far as this is the person that I ultimately wanted to be with,
right.
I don't really know anybody like that.
I know some people, but I agree with what you're saying. But I was
Thank God.
No, but I was saying not. But I would say in all of those situations, I wouldn't necessarily call it settling in all those situations, because the reason I say that is because you may not have been with the person that you originally wanted to be with, but that person may have been the best fit for you, where this person is a better fit for you. So it isn't always necessarily a matter of settling per se. But back to what I was saying, what I'm saying is, outside of a woman's standards and whatever else that you want to say, what I'm saying, if a woman walked into a room and said, you know what, I want to go on a date with the dude who want to go out with me, and versus a guy walking into a room with women and he's saying the same thing, there will be more guys looking to go out with that woman than there will be more women looking to go out with that guy. Easily. Women have it easier than men when it comes to dating. And the reason I say that, because when we approach a woman, we're approaching y'all most of the time. I say 95% of the time. There are women that approach men, but again, 95% of the time we're approaching y'all. Most of the time, if y'all looking good, y'all gonna get approached easily. A man can be looking fresh. And I'm saying this from my own personal experience. A man can be looking fresh, walk up to a woman, speak cordially, everything like that, brush off. But
I think that's situational and circumstantial, and I just made up a word. I don't think that's a real word.
Circumstantial.
Okay, so I didn't make it up. Okay, cool. Well, fine. I will say this. No, only because men often find women intimidating. I have heard this so many times. And it hasn't been like I've been with a group of women. I might be with one person at a bar having a drink and we're kikiing it up. So it's not like I'm being standoffish or doing body language that makes me closed off. It's literally I'm giggling with my friend, and a man will say, I had to build up the courage to go, like like you, or when we have the conversation, if they do slide me their card or whatever the case may be, it's like I would have been checking you, and I had to. I'm like, why didn't I didn't present myself to be closed off. Why didn't you just come and say what's up? Like, whatever. Or I've had men like literally stare at me, and I'm like, what's up? Like, but I have to be that person that says what's up or make the move. So I don't think that's necessarily true. I think there are more women nowadays shooting their shot because men are still kind of like in their head about it. Like there are some men, and I'm gonna say this, like there's some men, they might not be necessarily like that person's aesthetic. There's like an unattractive guy that's always gonna shoot his spot, because I'll tell you this, men play the numbers game. Men, y'all play the numbers game. So that means if there's a dozen eggs in this carton, y'all gonna put an egg in each basket to see who gonna hit back. And there's gonna be one or two chicks that hit back. Women don't really do that. I feel like we should do it more, but women don't do that as often. So I feel like y'all gonna get more hits than women.
But we have to do the work to do it. That's the point.
Yeah, you gotta drop your bag in each basket. How hard is that? What's up? I think you're beautiful. Can we go out? How hard is that?
So for one, all right. Number one, some dudes are nervous. Some dudes have some.
That's what I did say that
right.
Men are nervous. I did take that into account, but a lot of men will still shoot their shot at multiple women before they get a yes.
Right, which I understand. But what I'm saying is this: okay, say you out with your homegirls.
Mm-hmm.
I walk over to come speak to you. Not only do I have to speak to you to give you to get your number, but also your friends' opinions as well of me are going to be also in the background. Not saying that's always the case, but a lot of times so it's not. I'm not just trying to impress you. I'm trying to also impress you and your friends, because y'all gonna have the conversation about me later on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you remember that old dude that came over to talk to you? Girl, you see his shoes, you see a way like that can make a man nervous. Not saying every dude, but that can make a man nervous versus, she's by herself. It's a little easier because you don't got 2 or 3 homegirls with you, or even just one homegirl with you. So that's why I said for men, we have to put the work in. We have to do more work than y'all do. Like I said, y'all, for the most part, if you look good, you're gonna have a dude come talk to you in most situations. But typically, a man coming to talk to a woman, you got to make sure his breath ain't stink. You got to make sure his shoes look nice. He got to make sure the words that he says, he ain't looking like an idiot. There's a lot of factors that go into that women don't really have to deal with.
How often do you think I get hit on?
I don't know. Depends.
Do not do that. How often do you think I get hit on?
In public or online?
In public, online. How often?
I would think that if you was out at a bar or something like that, for a couple hours, at least 1 or 2 dudes might come say something.
That's very generous. I don't get hit on like that.
Okay.
I think there's a misconception that this is always happening, especially to attractive women, because I'm attractive. But I believe you have to also think that I just said the same thing. Like a lot of men they're intimidated. Mm-hmm. And it's even worse for women that have short hair, because there's a certain level of confidence that we exude. Like we're not our hair, and we know that hair really isn't power, contrary to popular belief. It is powerful because people can still cast spells, bullshit, do weird shit. But what I mean by that, like, we don't have to rely on that. And so right. It's not, we're not getting hit on like that. I'm not getting hit on like that. Like I go out with my friends, we look damn good, and it's not happening. So I think that's what I'm saying. I believe the roles have reversed a little bit. and women are stepping up to the plate and shooting their shot. I see it all the time. You know, like a guy the other day was like, "Oh, this girl I follow, she's coming to LA. She shot her shot at me. I didn't know." Blah 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 blah. Blah. She's asking me like, "Oh yeah, she really want to get out." I'm like, "Yo, you're gonna walk yourself out of whatever pussy that could potentially waiting for you on the other side if you keep tweeting about this experience, like what's happening in your DMs." But that's neither here or there. But I really believe that men, it's easier for men to get hit on than women, because women naturally be, you know, like, and men too can be flirty, but I think women, a lot of women are very flirty and bubbly, and even I listen, I unintentionally like flirt with people, and I probably owe like 20 people a relationship just based on smiling and cracking jokes back and forth, because that's just my personality.
Mhm.
And I recognize and realize that it's not always that easy for some women, but I really believe that at this point in the game, women are stepping up and saying certain things. So it's baffling to me that this woman is saying that, oh, women don't compete, they don't put themselves out there, they don't want to do anything, they think they're the prize. Bitch, I am the prize. I am special. I might not be to you, but I am to somebody. And that's cool. But I feel like whoever I fuck with, they're special. And it's this, I said it last week, there's this weird fascination with trying to humble women, especially more so in particular Black women, as if we are not worthy, we don't have value, we can't obtain certain things and do certain things. Every time you see a Black woman do something online, it's like 20,000 haters for the bitch going to fucking Paris to go to brunch. Just saying.
Right. I mean, and I hear you. And I'm not saying that she isn't saying that Black women aren't special. I think what she is saying is that the mind of I'm a woman, I got a vagina, and here just pick me because I'm her, or because I'm attractive, or whatever like that. That mindset is out there. It is out there. There are
And you know who created it? The patriarchy.
okay, all right, but again, we're moving away from that. So
No, but I feel like you can't get mad, and I feel like there are a lot of men that are upset that women are subscribing to that world because of the patriarchy. Niggas put that shit in place. You told if Nick, listen. People can be mad at the city girl mentality and hot girl summer mentality all they want to, but niggas told us we can have that shit. So if you told me I can have it, I'm coming to take it.
okay, and
And
that's
I ain't gotta fuck for it. It
and
really be that simple. And so I say kudos to the women that can do that shit and have a good time. Like the Lori Harvey's. Yeah, she might be fucking, she might not. But it's like, yo, I do everything y'all tell me to do, and y'all got think pieces about me. I barely talk. Y'all just found out what I sounded like a week and a half ago when I told y'all I was on 1,000 calories a fucking day. And I go to fucking Pilates. So I women, men can't be mad that women are finally like, you know what, you right.
no, I don't think
It's a certain caliber of nigga that's gonna do that shit.
right, but that's not every dude though. And
That's
I
not every dude. So if it's not every dude, then it's just like, yo, sit back, watch the show unfold, get your popcorn.
right,
You
and that's
don't have the space.
but
We're giving a lot of people too much space that ain't even in that tax bracket. If you broke, say that. If you working towards something, keep working towards something. But you can't be mad at the chick that is gonna go with the nigga that's gonna buy her the G-Wagon and put a little money in her pocket. You can't.
nobody.
And I feel like that's what's happening.
No,
You
that's
you trying to choose on a bitch that's not even looking your way.
no. I don't think. Okay. I think what's happening is that there are women out there who think they have it like that to get that, and they don't.
Now, yes, every woman don't have it like that. Know your role, stay in your lane.
Well, no, I'm not saying. I'm not
But
saying
no,
that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that there are women out there who think that they should don't stink, and that they think they're here, but they treat every man like they're here. That happens, and
and
I'm
what's
not.
wrong with that?
You said what?
And what's wrong with that?
Treating a man like he ain't shit.
Y'all ain't.
Okay. Anyways, I beg
I
to.
mean,
Um, like I said, there's a lot of women out there that think they're up here and that every man that they talk to is down here beneath them, and that's not necessarily the case. Um, like I said, are there women out there that deserve better dues than what they got? For sure, 1,000%. Are there dudes out there that deserve better women than what they got? 1,000%. But again, I think
that's
that
a you problem. And when I say you, I don't mean you in particular, but that's a you problem, because then you should have chose better and not settle.
which I said earlier, I said people got to choose partners better. But at the end of the day, a lot of women walk around like they the shit, and they be regular chicks, and I'm like you.
What's a regular chick to you? So since you're trying to humble,
I'm not trying
to. So since we're humbling, what's a regular chick to you?
I'm saying if we're both working, if we both ain't making over a certain amount of money where we can do whatever the heck we want to do, and we got to work every day to make it and survive, we both regular people. We both regular people. We both working to survive. We both trying to build something. We both trying to make sure that we ain't out here struggling. We're both regular people. We ain't out here living lavishly. We're not out here, taking trips whenever we want to. We're not out here buying whatever we want to buy whenever we want to buy it. That's not, if we're not living that life, then we both everyday working people. And I think
you're moving based off of monetary value, which I feel like a lot of men do move and equate success, value, worth via money. Like, why can't a chick just be a bad chick based on the way her morals, her values, what she got going for herself, and money not being involved? Like, she could be working towards something, and maybe she not. Maybe she just that around the way chick that could be, making moves, whatever the case may be. But it's like a lot of things, and how men try to value women and try to humble women. It goes back to monetary value.
No,
it really does.
No, I don't know, because the only reason I brought up monetary things, because typically when a woman says, when she's talking about her standards, a lot of times she's coming with monetary fact. Oh, if he not making X amount, or if he don't got his own business, or if he's still working at 9 to 5, I won't deal with him. Blah blah blah. So all the standards that typically a lot of standards that women have go into the monetary value of what a man has. I don't look at women as far as, oh, she need to make this amount, or she need to be working here, or that's not the way that I view women. I'm just saying, as far as when it comes to a woman walking out the house and she's saying, well, I deserve to be with that dude over there, and you ain't worth my time, when we both everyday working people. That's what I'm saying.
And that's her, and that's what she wants. But just like you have certain standards that you require when you have a partner, like you brought up the weight thing earlier today in appearance, like those are things that you care about. Somebody else might not necessarily say that that's the top priority for them.
I agree with that.
So it's okay if a chick is like, well, I want this person to make this certain amount of money. I've struggled for long enough. I want to be able to add to whatever they got going on, and they add to me. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I don't
and I think that comes. I'm sorry.
I don't think any woman should date a dude that's broke, or I'm not saying that a woman should be with a broke dude or a dude.
And I agree.
Right. I'm not saying that. But
even when the guys, I remember one of my college boyfriends was working at General Motors. He was making decent money, and he wasn't a part of the union. But every time that nigga got paid, I got paid. He gave me a part of his check. I didn't ask him to do that. He did it. And so that also set the standard about how I navigated and moved throughout life. I don't have to ask for anything. Like, you know what I mean? And I feel like if I really have to, now it's certain bullshit I'll ask for, like, oh, I want some shoes or something like that from time to time. I don't want to spend my money on it. Like, I don't mind, like, but I think that, like, I feel like people use money toward women to humble them and to control them.
I wouldn't necessarily say.
You just said you gonna cry in this Phantom or in that Nissan or Honda, whatever he fucking said to the girl. They do that. Men do that a lot, and it's just not the future.
But attract women, not to necessarily control them. I'm not saying there aren't controlling men out there. I'm speaking on a main situation. Most dudes get the car. Most dudes, dress a certain type of way because not only do they want to feel good and look good, but also they want to get women too, because money attracts women. It's to attract a woman, not necessarily humble a woman per se.
I will say it attracts a certain type of woman. To some other women, it's just like, oh, okay, that's a plus.
Right.
That's a plus, but it's not like, oh, I'm fucking with him
because
he has money. He just has money. That's an added extra.
Right. I agree with that. I agree with that notion as well too. Well, I'm speaking as far as when it comes to women dating a guy.
Mm-hmm.
When the money aspect, finances play a big factor in relationships. It's important. You got to have finances in order to move in this country. You can't move without it. So, but I don't attach finances as far as, oh, well, she ain't making this and she ain't worth shit. No, because I don't look at that when it comes to a woman. Do I want a woman that's successful? Do I want a woman that has drive and has ambition? Yes, those are the things I look for. But ambition, everyone looks completely different. Someone's ambition and something might not generate the amount of dollars that you think so everybody is different. But I don't want a lazy chick, so I don't attach money to her worth per se. Well, the reason I only brought up money was the fact of, if we both regular people and you ain't out here the finest thing in the world, we both just regular people, who's to say that I ain't shit and you are? Just because you're a woman, that's the mind. That's the mind.
That is the world the patriarchy created.
No.
That is
mindset of a woman is saying the dude ain't shit just because. That's not. No.
And it's also from experience. Like I said, y'all don't be shit.
Okay.
And it really be that.
It really be because it's that simple, and we're making this situation more complex than what it is. It's like a lot of things that women subscribe to and adhere to, whereas back in the day we would be more reserved or whatever about it. But now it's like, okay, fuck it, you're right, I can have it. So now it's like you just try to humble somebody humble and make them on your level because y'all both working class. And they might not be aesthetically your type, but it's somebody that's gonna cater to it. And it's like Juicy J said, niggas that got it, they not even having a conversation about it. They just doing it.
Right, and I agree with. And when I had it, I was doing it. But also for a woman that I felt was worth it. At the end of the day.
Yeah, you have to know who's worth it. I'm not telling you to go spend a band or a bag on every chick that you take out, but I'm just saying, like you mentioned earlier that, oh, I'm not going to take a chick to an expensive restaurant on a first date because I need to know that she's here for me. What's wrong with having an experience with somebody, even if it doesn't work out? Y'all share the moment.
So my mindset when it comes to dating is this: when my first date with a woman is trying to see if we vibe or not. I'm not, and for me to see if we vibe, sitting down and eating dinner and talking is super formal. A lot of times people put on fronts, they put on masks, and all kinds of stuff like that. People put on fronts, people put on masks, and they're not even their true selves. I would rather do something that is an activity where I can see your personality. Bowling, skating. Let's do something that's fun where I can see personality, and then from there I can actually see, okay, if we vibe or not. But then after that, then we can go to a nice dinner or whatever like that, because now I'm like, okay, we vibe. I'm not about to take you somewhere super nice and then we don't vibe, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't spend $200 or $300 or however much, or $400 or whatever on this dinner date and we ain't vibe. That's a waste to me. I'd rather see if we vibe.
You should have had a conversation on the phone prior to that to even know. And if somebody, and even if you would have set up a FaceTime appointment or whatever, like, hey, let's talk for an hour or two, whatever, and see how it goes. It's completely, you know, kind of based even on how somebody's responding to you via text message, if you should even ask this person. It sounds like to me you got to choose better, Because
No,
I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's
no.
necessarily fair to say I don't want to spend a certain amount of money on
Why?
somebody because I want to see how we vibe. Yeah, that's cool and all to go skating or we're going to the park or go karting, whatever. But it goes back down to like value. And so you're devaluing a person because hey, sorry, it's my dog. Stop. Just solely based on like what I don't want to waste the time, but money, you can always make money. And I tell people that, we put so much emphasis on money, which is great. We live in a capitalistic society and that's how it is, a capitalistic patriarchal society that has us very fucked up. But I feel like I can make all the money in the world, but my time is something I can't get back.
Right.
And I feel like if you experience something with somebody, y'all might have had a good time on a date, and then you was just something happens, and y'all just never, reconnect at that moment again, or it might not ever happen again. But you had a bomb ass time because you know why? You went to a great restaurant. It could have been your favorite restaurant, and you had a nice conversation with somebody. Prior to it. And I think that men need to use their discernment better. Women too, shit. Like I told you earlier, I said, hey, I know when a situation is about to get uncomfortable. I know when to remove myself from it. I'm not going out to dinner to eat because I'm hungry. I got fucking food in my house. I just need to cook. Or I could order fucking DoorDash. And I get it. Sometimes I don't want to spend my own money. I get it. But I'm like, is what I'm about to do worth my time?
Right.
And I'll be like, absolutely not, because I don't really want shit. I'm not going. I'm staying at home and I'm cooking. I get it that there is a culture of women that be like, I was hungry, so I went out.
Right. But I'm not even speaking into the aspect, because I've actually been told on a date, oh, you were just free food, literally to my face. So I mean, I've been told that before, but or I've seen text messages. Oh, girl, I'm just with free food, whatever. It's out there, but I'm not even speaking in regards to that. What I'm saying is when you speak of discernment or whatever, people are completely different on the phone or on Zoom or FaceTime or whatever, or text messages or even phone calls than they are in person. You can see mannerisms, you can see how somebody reacts better, all those things you see in person better. Versus talking on the phone or through text. Some conversations may not be best through text. Phone calls. Sometimes you might need to sit face to face to have certain conversations with somebody. So when I say, I didn't say I wouldn't spend money on a woman. What I said was I don't do dinner dates on a first date. I do an activity that I still have to spend money on. I still have to plan, because at the end of the day, if I ask you out, I'm pretty sure that I'm expected to plan something. So if I'm the one that's planning the date and I'm spending my money as a woman, who are you to tell me where we should go? Now, unless I ask for suggestions or something like that, hey, what would you like to do? Or what do you have in mind? But if you say, oh, plan something, or whatever like that, and I'm like, okay, I plan this, be dressed this way, and we gonna meet at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, or whatever like that. Okay, as long as I'm taking you somewhere decent, I'm not taking you to McDonald's or nothing like that. Then what's the problem?
I'm not mad at that. I just felt like earlier you were putting emphasis on not doing certain things because you just didn't want to spend the money. And I'm like, just spend the money and have a good time.
No.
Everything is going to cost you money, regardless of the situation. But if you picked that, like I said, I don't know what your favorite restaurant is, but to say that I don't want to go to a formal dinner or whatever, you just never know. You could be robbing yourself of something that could be potentially like really, really bomb. And once y'all get a couple of drinks in your system and y'all really talking and really getting to know each other, you was like, damn, this was actually a dope idea. I'm glad I went against, my gut feeling and I did this.
Okay. And I can have that same feeling doing an activity with someone.
Could, but I feel like sometimes activities, because it's so much happening around, it kind of takes away from having those intimate moments and really kind of seeing what happens. But hey, aren't you single?
I am single.
Yeah, you are.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying, maybe what you're doing isn't working.
was
And,
working.
and I'm not trying to shade you or knock you. What I'm saying is that sometimes we have to try different things to get different results. And so if it's a better result that you're looking for, maybe what you're used to isn't working.
Well, actually, what I did actually worked, and the reason why I was single is actually because of my choice, not because of something that happened in a relationship. So nothing happened in a
How many
relationship.
times have you been on a date in the most recent months?
You said how many times we just broke up this year. So I haven't been dating because I've been working on myself individually. That was the reason why we broke up. I wanted to work on myself as an individual to get myself to the next level of where I saw myself to be. So it had nothing to
You
do.
can do that with your partner? Why can't you do that with your partner?
You can and you can't to some degree. For me, being that I'm fairly still new here. I don't know anybody. I don't have any friends or anything like that. So I felt like the relationship was revolved around her and her friends. I wanted to make my own friends. I wanted to go out, meet new people, network, and things of that sort. For me, the amount of work that I was putting in, because I was already working 50 plus hours as a loan officer, then I started doing Uber on the side as well too. So now I'm putting in hours. So I knew that the time that she's used to having with me um, wasn't going to be the same because we both communicated heavily with each other, talking
Mhm.
multiple times a day. So for me, I'm like, okay, if I can't give her the same thing that she's used to while I'm working on myself, while I'm trying to go to networking events, meet people, XYZ, I felt like it wasn't fair to her to take away and still have her there at the same time. So for
You don't want
me,
to be with her anymore.
you said what?
You didn't want to be with her anymore.
No,
You
I,
wanted something different.
no, I love her.
You wanted something different. Your body, because I really truly believe, and I understand what you're saying, but I feel like you would have figured. Yes, baby. You want to say hi? Lord, she's so spoiled. Sorry. I really believe that you would have found a way to make it work. Y'all would have had a conversation about the time. A woman is never not gonna tell a man that he can't work and get money.
I agree.
I think women are very understanding people, but I think in your soul you wanted something more fulfilling, and whether that be from your career or another partner. But I think that had you really sat back and thought about it, y'all would have figured out a way to make it work. I think you wanted something else.
Okay. Um,
Because you can be passive on that, okay,
uh,
like I'm in the know, but I'm just being, that's the reality of the situation,
and
because I believe that
fact that
people try to figure it out and how to make it work.
we live an hour and a half away from she live in Temecula. We live an hour and a half.
Okay.
Right.
I know. Listen, and like I said, I know people that will go the extra mile to make it work.
And I
It's
understand.
okay if you want it. Yo, Dre, I'm telling you, like, nigga, do you? Have I not? You said when you told me what wasn't happening, it was hard for you to make. I said, hey, we having beach day this day. Pull up. What happened? You stood me up. I had men there to be guy friends with. But if I
I didn't
tell you again, this is beach day, and you don't show up, I ain't inviting you again.
know.
I ain't.
And I said I get off at a certain time, and I said y'all probably won't even be there at that time. I didn't get off till 9 o'clock,
I was not gonna be at the beach at 9 o'clock.
and
I
I know
told you in enough time.
no,
I
yeah, but
try to tell people, but I'll be at home for real. But next BJ, when we figure it out, we will definitely
yeah,
invite you. If there are
yeah,
men there that are coming, I will say, hey, this is what's happening.
cool. Send me the invite. But yeah, I was at work tonight. And I had clients coming in. I wasn't gonna leave my clients to come out to the beach, trying to make money.
Nigga, this is LA. Nobody works. Everybody is
Hey,
out during the day. Play hooky
but
and come the fuck on.
it was a Sunday. It's a mandatory day. I had to be there. I had three.
It wasn't a Sunday. We don't really be, we
Yeah,
do
well,
beach on Sunday, but we mainly do it on Saturday. I definitely feel like it was a Saturday.
I mean, it might have been a Saturday. Either way, Saturday.
Either way, listen, I
Man,
accepted the invite. I ain't gonna keep inviting you.
send me next time. Send me. I can my schedule a little bit more flexible now. So next time you send me the invite, and then we can go from there.
Okay. We gonna have to have you back to continue this conversation. I think these next few episodes is gonna be love and relationships and dating. And tell everybody where they can find you on social media. If they want to follow you, how to, whatever, slide in your DMs. He is single, ladies. So he's a nice looking guy. His beard is healthy. It ain't patchy.
It ain't.
So that means he takes somewhat decent care of himself.
I take really good care.
Whatever. Tell them where they can find you.
So you can find me on Instagram, first and last name. First name is Andre, spelled AUNDRA. Last name Young, YOUNG. And same thing for Twitter as well. That's my handles.
All right. Don't forget, guys, shop these candles. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Make sure y'all comment under the videos on YouTube and on the Instagram page, and make sure when you listening on your podcast, whatever you're subscribed to it, to get the latest episodes. Don't forget, on Spotify we also have it embedded where you can view the video as well. You don't necessarily have to go to YouTube, but I like when you guys go to YouTube, because then you get to see all my videos and other stuff that I do, and just like how I made the video about the next day after partaking in moonshine. So be sure wherever you listen to rate us high, like it, give us 4 or 5 stars, however many stars you can give, and share it with a friend. I be talking my shit on here and having a good ass time, and I'll be right. Niggas just don't like to listen to me, but that's cool. And you know what? I want to thank y'all for tuning in this week, and I will see you back here when? Next week.